It doesn't take decades of life experience to have a great idea. In fact, you don't even have to be old enough to have a driver's license, as many of these young inventors have proven. From Braille to snowmobiles, we have kids to thank for these world-changing inventions. Without kids and teens, we wouldn't have Popsicles, Superman, or trampolines. So here are the list of amazing things invented by kids. If you're new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future posts. Braille. Louis Braille suffered a serious eye injury when he was just 3 years old. Not only did the accident render him blind on that side, the infection spread and blinded the other eye as well. After more than a decade of struggling with the slow system of tracing his finger over raised letters, Braille was 12 when he learned of a method of silent communication originally created for the French military. He simplified it, and in 1824, the Braille writing system was born. Teenagers continue to revolutionize the Braille system. In 2014, 12-year-old Shubham Banerjee created a Braille printer from a Lego Mindstorm set. Named the Brago, the $200 printer is much more affordable and attainable than the $2,000 alternative. Number 2. Christmas lights. Before electric lights were invented, many people decorated Christmas trees with actual candles. What could go wrong with open flames attached to dead branches studded with dry, brittle needles, all located inside your home? However, even when electric lights became available, people were more concerned about electricity burning their houses down rather than the candles. But by 1917, people were more used to electricity, and 15-year-old Albert Sadaka was ready to capitalize on their trust. Prior to that time, those brave enough to try electric Christmas tree lights had to shell out approximately $2,000 in today's money for the privilege. Sadaka had the idea to create an affordable set of Christmas lights and had them produced by his parents' novelty lighting company. It's because of him that lights are now a ubiquitous part of the holiday season. Number 3. Earmuffs. It can get pretty chilly in Maine, so it's no wonder that they have a day honoring Chester Greenwood, who invented earmuffs in 1873 when he was just 15. Greenwood loved to ice skate on frozen ponds during the cold Maine winters, but a wool allergy kept him from donning the warm hats with ear flaps that his friends wore. Tired of having to call it quits due to his cold ears, Greenwood asked his grandmother to sew flaps of flannel or beaver fur onto some wires that he could bend around his head. 10 years later, Greenwood was the owner of an earmuff factory that produced 50,000 of them every year. Number 4. Transforming toy trucks. In 1962, 5-year-old Robert Patch cobbled together a couple of shoeboxes and some bottle caps to create a vehicle that could transform into 3 different trucks: a dump truck, a flatbed, and a box truck. His patent attorney father saw potential and applied for a patent in his son's name. Young Robert Patch signed his name with an X. He didn't know how to spell yet. Though Patch turned 6 by the time the patent was granted, it was still young enough to be the youngest patent holder ever at the time. Number 5. The trampoline. George Nissen was only 16 years old when he came up with the idea of the trampoline. Throughout high school, he took gymnastics and swimming classes at his local YMCA, where he frequently watched gymnasts perform difficult trapeze routines. He thought it would be fun if the athletes could bounce back up and continue their routines rather than landing on a safety net and starting again. So he set to work in his parents' garage and ended up with canvas stretched over a metal frame, which he first called a bouncing ring. Eventually, he changed the name to trampoline, which comes from the Spanish word for diving board. He also switched from canvas to nylon for an even more bouncy surface. Nissen spent the rest of his life taking trampolines around the world and demonstrating what they could do. His lifelong dream was to have the trampoline become an Olympic event, and he lived to see that dream come true at the Sydney Olympics in 2000. Number 6. The snowmobile. Quebec native Joseph Armand Bombardier had always been a tinkerer, and on New Year's Eve in 1922, he surprised his family with his latest creation. He had mounted the engine of a Ford Model T to 4 runners with a handmade propeller perched on the back. Steered by Bombardier's younger brother, the contraption traveled more than half a mile across the snow before coming to a stop. The 15-year-old inventor continued perfecting his snowmobile over the years, adding tank-like tracks to it in 1935. By 1959, his tinkering had resulted in the Ski-Doo, the first ultralight snowmobile model. Number 7. Superman. As a teen, Jerry Siegel was having a hard time sleeping one hot summer night in 1934. Restless, his mind turned to his favorite science fiction stories, and as he looked outside at the moon, he got an idea of his own. Siegel jotted them down, and in the morning, ran to visit his artist friend Joe Shuster, who made some sketches. 4 years later, they found a publisher, and today, Superman is one of the most recognizable characters in the world. Number 8. Swim flippers. In the early 1700s, an 11-year-old boy who loved to swim noted that he could cut through the water more easily if he had more surface area to push through it with. He fashioned handheld swimming fins out of oval-shaped planks, making holes in the middle for his hands. He made fins for his feet as well, but wasn't happy with the clunky design and quickly abandoned them. The fins were just one of the boy's many inventions. The kid we know today as Ben Franklin grew up to create a stove, the odometer, a lightning rod, and bifocals, among other things. As an adult, his continued love for swimming earned him a spot in the International Swimming Hall of Fame. Number 9. Popsicles. A lot of kids are easily distracted, and thanks to the short attention span of 11-year-old Frank Epperson, we now have Popsicles. In 1905, Epperson, who was from San Francisco, was stirring powdered drink mix into a cup of water when something else caught his attention. The concoction was forgotten on his porch, and when Epperson rediscovered the drink in the morning, it was a deliciously portable frozen lollipop. After years of making the frozen treats for friends, and eventually his own children, Epperson filed for a patent in 1924. Number 10. Makon Bacon. You may remember the Makon Bacon kitchen gadget from the 1990s. You may even still own one. The microwave rack, which cooks bacon strips perfectly while catching the excess grease in a drip pan, was the brainchild of an 8-year-old girl named Abby Fleck. Abby was helping her parents with breakfast one morning when they ran out of paper towels to sop up the grease. After wondering why they couldn't just hang the bacon like laundry and let the extra fat drip off, she and her dad fashioned a successful prototype out of plastic hangers and dowel rods. She has since sold 2.7 million Makon Bacons through Walmart alone. Number 11. Crayon holders. Most people just throw away crayon pieces when they become too small to properly hold. Cassidy Goldstein had another idea. She found a little plastic tube used to keep flower steps fresh and pushed her broken crayon pieces inside. Years later, in 2002, she got her invention patented by Rand International, and in 2006, she won the Youth Inventor of the Year Award from Intellectual Property Owners Education Foundation. Crayon holders not only keep broken crayons alive, but they also make it easier for children who have difficulties with fine motor skills to hold on to the crayons. Number 12. The water talkie. In 1996, 5th grader Richie Stokowski invented the water talkie, a device that allows people to talk to each other underwater. It was a hit, so Stokowski expanded his product line under a company he called Short Stack. The new lineup included the Scuba Scope and the Bumper Jumper Water Pumper. In 1999, at age 13, the pint-sized entrepreneur sold Short Stack to a San Francisco-based toy company for what was speculated to be millions. Number 13. HandsOn Basketball. As someone who has always been awful at basketball, I would have loved it if someone had coached me on how to properly shoot the ball. HandsOn Basketball does just that. With 2 colorful handprints, that demonstrate the correct places to hold the ball and make it easier to sink a basket. Chris Haas was only 9 years old when he came up with this idea after trying to teach his friends how to make simple shots. He made a prototype for an invention convention at his school, and although he didn't win, he was encouraged to file a patent and keep selling his product. Since 1994, he has sold thousands of HandsOn Basketballs to kids worldwide. Number 14. Magnetic Locker Wallpaper. Lots of kids love to decorate their lockers with posters, stickers, and notes from friends. It's a fun way for students to express themselves, but it's a pain to peel everything off at the end of the year. Sarah Buckle was in 8th grade at Central Catholic Middle School when she came up with the idea for magnetic locker paper. Her father, who works at magnet company MagnaCard, heard her idea and loved it. Sarah helped design patterns and other accessories and made sure the marketing would appeal to girls her age. Within 1 year, her invention had made over $1 million at nationwide companies such as Target and Staples. MagnaCard has since expanded her range with locker magnets, saying things like friends or dream. Number 15. Iade. Alex Deans, a 12-year-old from Ontario, saw a woman struggling to cross the street and was happy to go over and assist. As they were crossing, she told him she was visually impaired and made a comment about how little technology there is to help her. This inspired Alex to create his revolutionary invention, Iade, which he revealed 3 years later. Iade is a small device that clips to your belt and uses cameras and sensors to detect where objects are. The user holds a joystick, which uses the data from the sensors to swivel and point away from the objects, showing the user which way it is safe to walk.